Alright, what's up YouTube? This is kind of just an update video because I've been gone for a couple months, just to kind of let you guys know what's been going on in my life and stuff that's not so much has prevented me from making videos or practicing code, but it made it a little bit more convenient to put that on the back burner for a little while. So the first thing that happened was I had got a new job that I was kind of previously telling you guys about before. And when I initially started that job, and what I'm doing there is I do phone tech support for computers and cell phones and stuff. And I really love the job. I love getting to work with customers. Even though I do the same thing every day it's different because each person I talk to is different. So it doesn't, even though I'm doing the same thing, it doesn't get that mundane repetitiveness to it, because you never know how the conversation's going to go. And for working someplace that's on the phone, I really enjoy it also because it's not a company where everything you have to say is scripted. They let you be unscripted so you can provide your own personal experience with the customer. So I really love that. And when I first started there, what I did was I was working my old job at the same time. And so I was kind of, juggling two jobs. I was working, a few hours before work, a few hours after work, stuff like that. Or sometimes I was just working before work or just after work, depending on what my shift was like. And so that kind of forced me at that point. Working the other job was cutting into my time that I would have been coding. After that, me and my fiance finally got married. So now she's Mrs. Perez, and along with that, she was getting further along in the pregnancy, and with that going on, I kind of decided that what I wanted to do was just to wait till after the baby was here to get back into it, because at my job, during the time frame, we had as far as time constraints is concerned, as soon as we'd been there for 90 days, you have the opportunity to where you might be able to go ahead and get a promotion and move up. And so I decided what I was going to do was, between the time that the baby got there, since it would roughly be around the same time, I was just going to focus and put in my effort at work. And if I was able to, get any overtime there and stuff, whatever, I would try here and there to get some overtime, and just kind of focus and work and strive to do really good at my job that I'm currently at, to get that promotion, to get my foot a little bit further in the door. That way, in the meantime, when I go back into coding, they can see how well I can do the job, how I'm motivated to want to move up and stuff as well. And and I could be continually getting promotions there while I'm still learning code. So with that said, I did, after my 90 days came up, I maybe had to wait about a week and a half to get into a training class for the promotion. I got my first promotion, so that's awesome there. And then last week, the baby was born. So I've been off from work. They've gave me 30 days or 160 hours paternity leave of unpaid leave time for the baby. So I took the first week off of work just to kind of be at home with my wife, and everything was fine with my daughter. She was born perfectly healthy, and that's, that was just a super blessing. My mother and my father both had heart conditions. I was born with a minor heart condition myself, so I was kind of worried that, being that that's been in my family, that might go on, but nothing there. Heart's perfectly fine, and honestly, I just can't, to say how excited I am to, be blessed with a baby in such perfect health, because I know that sometimes, especially for other first-time parents, that's not always the case, and so I'm just really excited about that. And so now that she's been born and stuff, I've went through, got my first promotion and stuff. I am ready to jump back in. And especially being that with my promotion, I got switched from nights to days, which will let me code in the evening time after work and still get into bed at a decent hour. It's not so much of where when I'm working night shift, it tends to be that I wake up before I go to work, come back, stay up a little bit later into the wee hours of the morning, before I go to bed, and like I said, getting up like right before I'd really need to go to work. And by time, since it's in the middle of the night on this last shift, even though I'm not doing too much physical activity at work, being that it's in the middle of the night, you're still kind of tired and you really don't want to do anything. So that's kind of a better schedule for me to be working on my coding as well. That said, where I left off with coding was I was about to jump into learning JavaScript. What I have done in the meantime, while I haven't actively been going through trying to finish Colt's course and stuff on Udemy like I was doing, what I did do was I would occasionally pick up some of the books I had and read a little bit on HTML and CSS and stuff, just to kind of keep that stuff fresh. And I have anytime I would see code for whatever reason for web pages and stuff, with some of the things at work, we went over and was looking at code for different reasons, even though my job doesn't really pertain to coding at all. I would go through and I'd read through the code and, make for sure I knew what was going on where with the things that I did know about. So doing that and reading actual code helped to kind of keep that cemented in with me, in with what I've learned. That way I didn't really lose it. I mean, I'm sure once I jump back in, there might be a couple things I might have to look back up. But for the most part, I feel like I still know the HTML and the CSS as good as the day that I stopped coding to focus on work and stuff. So that's been good. And that's something I would recommend, that if for whatever reason in the future anyone else has to take breaks because sometimes life happens and stuff, that's something else that I would recommend, is that if you did purchase any books, maybe one evening a week or something, try to go through and, like, even if it's a book that you've went through and finished, just open it back up and just kind of go through some of the stuff and just kind of keep it fresh in your mind. Or if you're just on the web just browsing around not doing anything, if you're using Chrome or whatever, just open up the code for the page and just look through the code, kind of see what's going on there. I mean, even when I did that, there's a lot of stuff that I really don't know exactly what's going on, because like I said, I haven't learned JavaScript yet, but I know how to look through the page, look and see where we are in the page, and I can see what elements on the page that they've used that JavaScript code for, even though I really don't know what's going on with that JavaScript code so much, other than maybe looking back at the live page and seeing whatever it might be doing, and then I'll know what the code is doing. I just don't know exactly what parts of the code's doing what. But, that'll come as I learn JavaScript and stuff as I get back into it. Some of the other things I've noticed is, I actually got on Udemy last night, and I've noticed that Colt Still has a new course called Web Development Bootcamp Advanced, where I think he was going over some more advanced things. I don't really remember exactly which things exactly off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look at it. What I actually might do is do a video over it when I'm at home at some point, and just kind of go over what new things is going on, and to see if any of you might be interested in using that for where you might be, because some of the people I know that I did talk to frequently that have been watching my channel at this point, that's probably where they would be, unless they already knew about it beforehand and they're even past that at this point. So that might be something for some of my friends that's got ahead of me. And so, really with that said, even though I took some time off, I never thought that this was going to be something that I wasn't going to come back to. It was definitely something I always knew I was going to come back to. It was just a matter of time for these different life experiences to go on and come about. And with that said, I know a lot of times it's very easy to take a break from something and then not come back to it. I've done that with other various things in my life, and this really isn't something that I want to do that with. Also, for the main reason, even though I could move up more and more at the job I'm at, even if I got like a management position at my job, at best, and this is just guesstimating, I have like no facts or hard data to base this on, but unless I were to change active positions to do something else, like I'm sure where I'm working, well, I know that there's jobs in other areas of the countries for the company I'm working for that I could do programming at, and whether that was web development or just actual like software programming and stuff. So I know that there's programming jobs with the company I'm with, and I'm not really talking about those. I'm just kind of talking about where I'm at in like the department of what I'm doing. If I were to move up as high as I could go and basically become a manager or something, I think at best I could probably only make like 45 grand a year, maybe. Maybe 35 grand is maybe a little bit more realistic. I don't know, I'm just kind of guesstimating here. So even though I really love the company I'm working for, I really love the job that I'm currently doing, I don't see it as something that I would necessarily stick with longer than a few years, to transition into the career that I want, which is going to be being a programmer. So I kind of see becoming a programmer, whether I stick with just doing web development or whether I go on to try to become an app developer or something in the future, and kind of change courses with that. I kind of see programming as a whole the thing that's going to change my life and provide me with a method to provide my family with the best life possible. And that's not going to be something that comes overnight, because it's a lot of work. And like I said, unless you are in a position to where you can just not have to worry about anything else and just focus hardcore on coding, life can get in the way sometimes, and sometimes you'll have to take breaks, and it can draw out the process a little bit longer. But that's not something that you should necessarily get discouraged about. There was definitely times during my hiatus where I wasn't practicing code, where I was like, man, I really want to jump back in here. But I know that with me, I'm the type of person, I like to set goals or like milestones, and I'm like, I'm going to pick up here and I want to be able to finish at least to about here. Kind of like, if I would have picked back up, I would have known I would have picked up at the beginning of JavaScript, and I probably wouldn't have wanted to stop until I at least finished the module there on the Udemy course I was going through, and then probably tried to have made like 2 or 3 JavaScript things on my own. And I knew that I didn't have the time to start that, and with my personality, I know I'm the type of person that even if I would have started it, when I did come back full time, I would have just started over from where I had started that portion at anyway. Because I'm just one of those people. I don't know if it's OCD or whatever you want to call it, but I'm like, I want to start here and finish it there, and then I'm done outside of whatever I need to build on top of that foundational area I just went over. So I definitely don't like, same thing with movies. I can't start a movie, get the movie halfway through, stop the movie, come back a day or two later and pick up in the middle of the movie where I was. I have to just watch the whole movie over again. And I think I haven't always been that way, but just, I don't know, ever since I've gotten out of the military, just being in different jobs where I've needed to know what it was I was going through, I always felt that if I didn't just go through the whole thing and get it in the one go through, there was stuff that I was going to be losing or forgetting that I would need to know. And whatever I'm doing, I want to make for sure that I'm always doing the best of my ability to be the best that I can be at it. And normally that's trying to be the best at whatever it is that I'm doing. There's a saying, you shouldn't half-ass anything. You should just whole-ass one thing. So, I mean, and I don't really believe in doing that in general, but I guess that's just kind of where that comes from in my personality. But, with all that said and stuff, I'm actually on my way to work. It's going to be my first day back since I've been on my paternity leave, and the rest of the leave that I've had, I'll be able to take intermittently as I need for the appointments for both my wife and the baby in the future. So I've got 30 days total, or up to 160 hours off work. So I basically just took that first week off to be at home with them and make sure everything was going good there, and things have been going great. And so the rest of it I'll get to use incrementally until it runs out. So I mean, that was really nice that my job was able to do that for me, even if it wasn't even though it wasn't paid leave, because ultimately I haven't even been there a year yet. I've only been there about 4 months, so they still went ahead and gave me the leave, despite the fact that they normally only do it if you've been there at least a year. So I was very blessed to have that happen. I'm really excited to hear about what's been going on with all you guys in the comments. I hope that you'll stick around in the future, even if in the meantime I'm only able to do a couple of videos like this where I'm driving to and from work. I'm going to try at least to get a couple of these up a week in the meantime, just to get my focus back to thinking about things in the coding world. And, you know, if you guys are hearing of any cool things, definitely by all means post them up in the comments. I'll definitely take a look at them. If there's anything you guys or any topics in coding that you would like me to look at or maybe go over in a video, be sure to let me know that too. Even if it's over some type of new technology, I'll definitely look over it and see what's going on. Of course, I'd only be able to give my opinion of what a new person in this industry really thinks about it, but sometimes looking at it as a beginner for beginners is sometimes a good thing as well, because sometimes when you've been in an area for a while, it's hard to kind of relate things back to someone who's, if you're someone that's been in the game for about 4 or 5 years and you know what you're doing, and you're trying to relate to someone that really doesn't know very much at all, sometimes it's kind of beneficial for those type of people to, you know, see the point of view of something from someone that's closer to along the lines of where they are in the journey. So with all that said, you know, I want to thank all you guys that will be coming back to the channel now that I'm back and I'm going to be making more content, and all those that's you know, messaged me and talked to me offline out of the channel. I just want to thank you guys for staying in contact. I've definitely loved getting to talk to you guys. And if this is your first time checking out the channel, I just want to say thank you for making it this far in the video. I know it's been about a 23-minute video so far. I hope that if you've liked it, then you might check out my other videos. And if you like those as well, and you kind of get the feeling of what the channel's about, and you think it's something you'd be interested in, then, you know, by all means, please like my videos, subscribe, and you know, don't be afraid to reach out and say something in the comments. I'll try to get back to everyone in the comment section as I have time. And I'm just definitely looking forward to being back and jumping back in and learning all these new things from here. And like I said, for anyone that's there that has anything that you might help benefit me from where I'm at moving forward, I am always open to friendly suggestions and stuff. So with that said, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.